Let me just say this upcoming big run, amazing. It's a tie-in event with the Grand Festival to liberate the arena, and we get a quota for players to reach together for a cool reward. It's so simple, and it's such a great feature. It really makes you wonder why it took 2 years after the game released to add this. And the way it's advertised sounds like some high stakes are at risk. And sure, that's been the case for every previous big run, yet tying it in with the Grand Festival just makes it feel like if we don't work together to stop the threat, it's just over. But if you really think about it, every single big run has always kind of been the same thing. The salmon invade a certain stage, Grisco orders all the workers to go help, we participate in a big run, we get rewarded for earning the most eggs, and that's really about it. There really hasn't been an overall main objective other than just collecting golden eggs. So we can never really lose a big run. But that's got me thinking, what if we could lose a big run? What kind of consequences would there be? And thanks to the addition of this live counter, something tells me this may just be an early development feature that devs could be experimenting with to use in future titles. I know it's way too early to tell, but just look at the quota we all have to reach together. 700 million golden eggs. And that's a lot of golden eggs. And deceased salmonid. I don't think they're going to like that, but that's besides the point. So what does happen if we collect 700 million eggs? Well, clearly we'll be heroes. We would save the Grand Festival, the festivities would be able to continue, and, well, no, not really. If we reach the quota, we just get rewarded scales, which isn't too bad. It's nice that there are easier ways to get these rare rewards, but the Grand Festival would just continue as usual. Which leads me to my first consequence. Now, this one is under very specific circumstances due to it being a tie-in event with the Grand Festival, but let's just say in an alternate universe where instead of not being rewarded scales for reaching our 700 million quota, in this scenario the Grand Festival is just shut down, or better yet, postponed. I know this may be a little decisive due to some players not particularly liking the idea of Big Run possibly interrupting an upcoming major event such as a Splatfest or in this case, the Grand Festival. But can you imagine the incentive to actually participate in one of these major events? Sure, some players may see it as a chore and kind of forcing the players to play the PvE mode to access a big event for the main game, especially with these giant amounts of golden eggs. Because let me tell you, that's a huge amount. But that's why we're experimenting with it. That's why there hasn't been a main goal or possibility to lose a big run. It's all just an experiment to see how many eggs we can potentially collect as a whole. And at most, if we don't reach 700 million, we just won't get bonus scales, which is completely fine. But do you really believe that we won't reach that amount? I highly doubt we're not going to be able to reach quota. If anything, we're going to surpass it easily. And just a bit of a spoiler here between you and me, but if we do get more than 700 million, these rewards do get a little better. Nothing super crazy, but just a little better. But let's go back to the consequence of losing a big run. If we don't reach our main objective, clearly an upcoming event, such as the Grand Festival, wouldn't be entirely cancelled, but instead it could get postponed until Grisco has to send another emergency task force to eliminate the fully overrun stage. And this time around, we could shift our main objective of collecting a certain amount of eggs into splatting a certain amount of salmonid, which would in turn give us a new objective to the overall gameplay of Salmon Run, which would eventually maybe turn into more objective-based gameplay. But I don't think I'll fully get into that yet. Now, I do see a bit of a problem with this. If we keep losing over and over and over, it would get a bit repetitive and we would struggle to save the Grand Festival. But I guess a solution would be to lower the quota every single time we lose? But at that point, who knows how many players would just be discouraged and moved on by now. So, in the end, would we really even get our big festival event? Like I said, it's a good thing this isn't the case and it's just all an idea, which is why I think this next scenario works much better. I want you to think back to December 10th, 2022, back when the first big run took place. None other than Wahoo World was selected as the first stage for the Salmonid to take over. And you know what people said? The salmon can keep it. And among other things have been said too, but that's the general idea for a big run loss on a regular stage. Big run stage is announced, we're given a collective quota to reach, we fail, and what happens to the stage? We lose it. Gone from rotation from the main game. As a consequence of our loss, it's turned into a brand new overrun salmon run stage. Of course, it wouldn't be a permanent loss. Eventually, it could return as a big run, giving us another opportunity to free it from the salmonid, bringing it back into the main game. Or, you know, if people don't like the stage, just let the salmon keep it, like a certain previously mentioned stage. But once again, I have to bring it up. Who really knows how many people would like the idea of the PvE affecting the main game? So I propose a new concept for a future title. Present the players with the choice of 2 returning stages that have been overrun by salmon. For this example, we'll use Piranha Pit and Camp Triggerfish. The players now have the power to choose where to throw all their resources and ink power towards. The stage that gets the majority of players working shifts and completing objectives gets freed, adding it to the main game's rotation, while the other gets turned into a rundown salmonid-ruled stage for the time being, until it's given another opportunity to return. Rinse and repeat with returning stages, and bada bing bada boom, I guess you got what you can call Salmon Run Players Splatfest. And the consequences of our actions will affect the overall game by either enjoying our choice of stage being added into rotation, or completely regretting the lost stage being turned into a salmon run stage. And if you don't like those ideas, then I don't know, whenever a new stage is introduced, it could start off as a big run and then it gets added to the rotation. That's kind of what's going on right now with the Grand Festival. First it's being showed off as a sneak peek in big run, and then we'll be able to play it, which I guess works, and there's really no need for losses or consequences, but that's what we need. We need loss. We need consequences for our actions. We need to band together and work as a team to defeat the salmonid. I'm telling you, that's why we have a golden egg live counter. It's all an experiment. They're testing us. They want to see how many we can collect as a team. I guess in the end, it really just comes down to what you think. Do you think it's a good idea to have consequences and loss in big run? Should we have some sort of main objective? Salmon Run is just a really, really good game mode. I really like that we have had 2 games already with this PvE mode. I doubt it's gonna go anywhere, but I would really love to see more objective-based missions in this game, because in the end, it kind of just comes down to the same thing. Defeat bosses, collect eggs, reach a quota, you get prizes and rewards. I know that's the main concept of the game. The whole reason Grisco exists is for us to collect power eggs to the oh-so-greedy CEO. Current CEO, Lil Judd. Maybe in the future there's a shift in the story, turning Grisco from a golden egg collecting company into a still questionable, yet freedom-fighting force standing in the face of oppression to defend the defenseless from the tyrannical salmonid. I know that may sound a little funky, but hey, if you like it, don't worry, I have a few more ideas for my future Salmon Run Delusional wish list to talk about. But that'll probably be for another time. For now, stay tuned for that. And remember to tell me down in the comments below what you think. Should Salmon Run affect the main game in any way or form, such as how the final Splatfest of every game has affected the future of the series? What do you think? And hey, remember, if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Feel free to hit those buttons down there and hit that bell icon if you want to get notified for more in the future. I'll be streaming the upcoming big run on twitch.tv/TrinityRBG. So I'll see you there. And hey, good luck to us all for 700 million eggs. Not that we'll need it, but just know that it's going to be real fun. But okay, goodbye.